So if you haven't noticed, Nickmercs has been dominating the Warzone scene lately. I mean, his viewership, his performance, everything about it's been absolutely insane. And just overall, his Warzone gameplay has been insane. So today, we're talking about what makes Nickmercs so good at Warzone. And we're going to talk about some things that he does that you can do to get better at Warzone as well. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Let's go. So we're going to be going over some clips from the Toronto Ultra's $100,000 Warzone tournament that Nickmercs ended up winning and see some of the things that Nickmercs does incredibly well. So here in clip 1, the first thing you notice off the rip is that he is using the professional movements. He's using the slide cancels. He's moving around the map very efficiently, very quickly. This is what you love to see, taking that straight from competitive Call of Duty. Of course, Nickmercs' background in esports, in Gears, in Call of Duty, you know, he picked up on these things very, very well. It's something that he's always been good at. And then what we end up seeing is how he uses the headies incredibly well. And then, of course, uses the wide angles to his advantage to get these kills. Let's check it out.
I'm on the way. I'm 160 meters out. Good shit, Biff. Oh, Nick.
That's bad, but I'm trying to.
Oh, what the fuck?
Bartolet. Hey, that kid.
So fucking shot.
Why is he in our game?
I got both.
So what he does so well on that first kill is how he jumps down the stairs and takes the wide angle on the stairs. So what happens so often for people, especially in Warzone, is they take the tight angles around corners and they get caught with the weird camera timing in Call of Duty, and you end up getting caught on the stairways or around corners, just like this guy did. So Nickmercs takes the better, higher probability angle of winning the gunfight, which is taking the outside, kind of giving yourself a little bit of space between you and the corner that you're going around, which allows for you to have the better angle in the gunfight. And he easily wins that gunfight, then sets himself up on the stairs and absolutely beams the dude with the heady there. Just absolutely nuts. Fantastic shots. That movement is so important in how he positions himself to give himself the best, like, statistical odds to win that gunfight. Awesome stuff in this first clip from Nick. Of course, the meta with where Warzone's been lately, C4 has always kind of been the go-to with how you have to play it, and Nick is of course so good with the C4 and how he uses it to his advantage to check corners, to flood people out of areas, and that's kind of how he does it here. He has 2 C4s to work with, so he's trying to make sure that he uses them to block off angles, to prevent pushes. You know, he'll put it on a doorway to give himself a chance to reload, and in this clip specifically, he uses it to clear the corners, to force the player out of the corner and give himself the best advantage in that gunfight. And let's just watch that real quick because it's a short clip.
Yeah.
And then TV. Nice, Nick. He plays, baby. And neighborhood.
So just good stuff overall from Nick there. He does that throughout all of his tournaments with how he uses that C4 really effectively to get the other team to move to where he wants them to go. And that's basically how you use nades and semtexes in competitive Call of Duty, is you use them to block lanes and you use them to force opposing players into positions that you want them to be in. And he just does that really, really well in Warzone all the way around. So the next clip is another movement technique that's called snaking, which in competitive Call of Duty is definitely frowned upon, but in Warzone, all bets are off. You've got to use whatever it takes to win your gunfights, to put yourself in the best position to win. And this is less of a spammy example than you can even do here, but you can see that he's on this building, chilling, and he's going up and down, crouching and not crouching over and over again. And when you spam that, that's called snaking. And in the pro scene, it's generally GA'd by pros because it's just really toxic and makes S&D and playing for rotations a lot more toxic and less fun. You're trying to fry in Warzone, and Nick is using it to his advantage here. It makes him really, really hard to kill on top of the building here when you got that heady like that, popping up and down over it, changing your elevation to make it hard to shoot you. A great way to play. Everyone in Warzone really should be doing it. So this next clip is about the value of the communication and how you set up with your teammates to kind of weed out players and make sure that your team's in the best position possible. And so when we watch this clip, you're going to hear the communication between him and his squad about how they're positioning these guys on the edge of the zone. They're using the zone to their advantage to give damage to them and allows them to play the best positioning possible. So without further ado, let's watch it and we can talk about it a little bit more. Let's check it out.
Nice, Nick.
There's another one down right there, bro, on that ping. Get back down that ping, on that ping. They're all on that ping right there, bro.
I'll get it.
I'm watching the front side of red, Nick.
I got left.
Under me. Knock. Okay.
One shot in the street to my right.
Head. He's getting shot in the back. The guy's in the storm. Yeah, nice.
Oh man, we're on the fucking fucking money right now, bro.
You can see how they kind of set the trap there, waiting for the storm to push the opposing team in towards them. They're communicating like, yo, I've got right, and then Nick's like, I've got left. The second that it's unlikely that the opposing team is coming from the left side, Nick pushes to help his squad on the right side with that communication, talking about how they're at the edge of the zone. They should be right there on the ping and everything else, and they eliminate the squad, and they're in really, really good shape now in the tournament. So of course, that communication all the way through any Warzone game is incredibly important. The patience to play like that and use the zone to your advantage is kind of like BR 101, and they do that to a T here in that clip. So this next clip is nasty, all right? Nick is flying through here, and he gets stuck in an alley and has to fight his way out. This is just absolutely disgusting how he plays this out. So what you guys are seeing here, again, he gets some nice shots down on that squad and has to turn into the alley, where he uses the little corner to switch weapons and give him the best chance to win this gunfight. Switches off the MP5 and again changes elevation. So he's jumping, he's crouching, getting down to a drop shot on all of these kills here. Gets down, beams the dude off the head. He's absolutely nuts. He's frying. I mean, those guys definitely missed some shots on him. I mean, he easily could have died there multiple different times if those guys were a little bit better. But he gave himself the best chance possible with the right weapon, with the movement, up and down, changing elevations, creating as much movement as possible to make himself hard to hit. And that's something that you guys can definitely practice inside of custom games or in Warzone games themselves, where you're practicing your movement inside of gunfights, trying to change your elevation, changing your movement, your strafing, and how you position yourself to give yourself the best advantage possible. Nick is really good at peeking with a jump, giving himself a visual first, and then pushing, putting himself in the best position possible to win the gunfight. That was nasty. So this next clip is another example of how he uses the environment to his advantage and how he just absolutely smokes kids because of how good he is at positioning himself on the map. And like I said before, that's generally the difference between a good player and a great player, an average player and a good player, is that positioning inside the chaos, inside the gunfight. And so here what you guys are going to see is how he uses this truck to his advantage to get a sight on enemies, to play one window at a time, to position himself, to eliminate the amount of angles that the opposing team has, and allows him to focus all of his attention on one window at a time to eliminate all these guys. So pay attention to that while we watch the clip. Let's check it out.
And then there's multiple guys stadium. Biff, I'm gonna help you with these guys. 2 on you right now.
In the house.
Let's go, Nick.
Nice, Nick.
Go, Nick.
Popping this
I'm
shit for you
flying
guys.
in.
Again, that's nasty. He was insane in that clip overall with how he used the truck and its windows to give himself the intel he needed and the patience inside the gunfights, plus of course the absolute beams to win those gunfights, which is hard to do in itself. Overall, ridiculously nice stuff there from Nick, and a well-deserved squad wipe for him. So this last clip's a great example of kind of the positioning, the communication, the gun skill, and the movement all kind of combined into one here. He's on top of stadium. He's talking with his team. They have an idea that one of the final squads is down below him inside stadium. So Nick is playing that power position on the top, kind of watching out for a squad. So they're playing together while he's chilling at the top with the power position. Then he gets the call out that they're in the gunfight, and he's trying to immediately figuring out how to help. He's like, yo, should I flank? Should I flank? Like, where should I go? How should I play this? And he's like, all right, I'm flanking. And he jumps down, pinches at the exact same time with his teammates. So let's check it out real quick.
All right, so there's a whole team of
2
3
guys.
inside a state, or a team of 2 and then a team of 3.
Yeah.
Inside stadium? Okay, I'm gonna stay up here. What do we got right now? We guys, these guys can't fight each other. Oh, dude, we're fucking frying.
Holy fuck.
I'm popping this just to see if we see anybody.
Recon on my position.
You want me to flank him?
He's-
Flanking.
I fail. Yeah, one shot. Really close. 2 left. One more. I'm self-resing.
I see him.
Behind me. I hear him.
Nice. Go.
Let's go, baby.
So he's out there beaming them, getting the dubs, getting the kills. That was huge for him in this tournament, and it wouldn't be possible without communication, the positioning, and more. So that's it for this video. We can definitely go through a lot more examples of what makes Nickmercs so good, with how, you know, they use UAVs, how they use vehicles, how they use all the other things in this game that allow for teams to have these massive kill games. I thought for this first edition of the breakdown of Nickmercs, we could just kind of focus on how he individually played, and then we could talk about more kind of big team squad stuff later on, if that's something that you guys are interested in. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did, like, comment, subscribe, share it. I really do appreciate all the support. I'm trying this long term, and I cannot do that without you guys, so I really do appreciate it. But as always, guys, I'm your boy SalvationsElite, and we will see you next time. I'm out.